Good morning, students. Welcome to HashLearn. My name is Tariq Hassan and I'll be taking a class for data interpretation. In this live video class for banking exam preparation as well as MBA entrance exams and all other aptitude exams, where data interpretation is a major part of the examination, we'll see some unique questions on data interpretation. It's something that you might not have seen before in the examination. We'll see one set of questions like that, and one set of combination question on pie charts. So two question types, which are one which is very common in the examination and one which we expect to see in the future exams, which is a very different type of question. You might not have seen such a question before. Okay, all right. So let's look at the first question to understand what I'm talking about here. And why do I say that this is a unique question and it might come in the future and it has not yet come? So this is a question where we have a probability based question in the form of a table. So it's a DI question, but entirely based on the concept of probability. If you read the directions here, the table below gives the probabilities of hitting a target for 5 competitive shooters. The probabilities are given for 4 different targets A, B, C and D. The number in brackets next to the target stands for a distance of the target from the shooter. Let's understand this question. There are 5 shooters here. The name of the shooters being P, Q, R, S and T. So these are your 5 competitive shooters. There's in any kind of a game, Olympics or Asian Games or Commonwealth Games, there are some shooters who are participating and they're participating in different types of shooting events. Here A is a 20-meter event, B is a 50-meter event, C is a 100-meter event and D is a 300-meter event. And for each person P, Q, R, S and T, what are the probabilities of hitting the target? Right? So hitting the target means hitting the bull's eye of the target. Okay, so here we have P, the chance that P will hit the target is 0.65, but for which target? We're talking about target A. And again for target B, the probability for P is 0.40, for C it is 0.52 and D it is 0.35. These are the individual probabilities given to you, and same thing for Q, for R, for S and T. And now the first question in this set says, what is the probability that all the shooters will hit the target A? So target A means you have to look in the first row, and we can see here that we have 0.65, 0.54, 0.75, 0.52 and 0.70. What is the probability that all the shooters will hit target A? Now let's understand a few basic things about probability here. First of all, we say probability of any event E is equal to the total number of favorable outcomes by the total number of outcomes, and this probability is already given to you. You don't have to calculate this. So for the question that we have right now in front of us, a data interpretation question set based on probabilities, what we have to know is the multiplication rule and addition rule. Also to understand that all of these events here, which means what is an event? Anything that is happening that we do is called an event. And for example, tossing a coin, rolling a dice, right, hitting at a target. And we say that all of these events are independent events. For example, if P shoots the target, the outcome of whether P hits the target or does not has no effect on whether Q will hit the target or not. And same thing, what Q does has no impact on R, and what R does has no impact on S, and so on. So all of these events that we see, in everything here is an event. So let's say for example, Q hitting target A is an event, and that event outcome is 0.54. The probability for that particular event is 0.54. So each of these, you can see here we have total of 5 into 4, 20 different events here, because there are 5 shooters and 4 targets. 20 different events are there, and each event is independent of the other. These are independent events, and in independent events we say that when suppose 2 events E1 and E2 are independent, then probability that E1 and E2 will happen. For E1 and E2 happening together, we say that probability will be P of E1 into P of E2. So wherever we have and, we multiply. So if you're finding out what is the probability that two independent events E1 and E2 will happen together simultaneously, E1 will also happen and E2 will also happen, then we are going to multiply. This is a basic rule of multiplication in probability. And then the next one is if E1 and E2 are independent events and they are happening exclusively, that means either E1 is happening or E2 is happening, both the events are not happening, then we are going to add this P of E1 plus P of E2. So this is a basic idea to keep in mind. All the probabilities are given to you. You don't have to worry about sample space. You don't have to worry about the number of outcomes in the event set. Probabilities are already given to you. Okay. Now, one more thing that you should know in order to handle a question like this is the what we say non-happening of an event. Let's say, for example, uh, what is the probability that event E1, okay, one second, just let me clear this. What is the probability that event E1 will not happen, E1 dash? If E1 stands for the event happening, then E1 dash, E1 complement stands for the event not happening, that is non-occurrence of the event. P of E1 dash is always equal to 1 minus P of E1. So if we know the probability of an event E1, then we can subtract it from 1 to find out the probability that the event E1 will not happen. For example, if I know that the probability for P hitting target B is 0.40, then what is the chance that B will not hit the target? 1 minus 0.40, that is equal to 0.60. So if I know the probability of B hitting a target, then I can find out the probability that B will not hit the target by subtracting that value from 1. Okay, so these are the basics that one should know in order to approach a question like this. Now let's see what this question number 1 is talking about. So in question number 1, it's saying that what is the chance that all the shooters will hit the target A? It's specifically talking about which target? A. So for target A, the required probabilities are given to you. So 0.65, so let's write down as 65 by 100 into 54 by 100 into 52 by 100, 0.52 into 70 by 100. This value we have to calculate, and whatever is this answer, that will be your final answer. Okay, so let's just roughly calculate here. So 0 0, let's cancel all the zeros here, and 2 into 5 is 10, and 2 into 26 is 52, and 5 will cancel 65 13 times. So this part is done. Okay, now let's cancel out some more things here. So 2 into 50 is 100, and 2 into 13 is 26. So this is also done. What else we can cancel off here? So we can say, okay, 2 into 25 is 50, and 2 into 27 is 54. So we have some values to work with here. So one is we have 13 into 7, that is 91. In the numerator I am calculating first, and then we are going to multiply 13 and 27. So just multiply 27 into 13, 91, 9 in hand, 26 plus 9, that is equal to 35. So 351. Okay, so 351 approximately we can take it as 350. That much approximation we will have to do, and divide by 100 into 100 into 50 into 25, and 25 can cancel 350 how many times? So 4, 8, 12 and 2 14. So we can divide it by 25 14 times, and now we have just multiply 14 into 91 and divide by the by 100 into 100. So 14 into 1 is 14, 1 in hand, 14 into 9 126 plus 1 127, and okay, and divided by 100 into 100. So I'm getting here 0.12 0.1274. This is approximately what is my answer. 0.1274. Let's just check it, the values once again. So 0.70 by 100, so that's 0 0, it cancel off. 2 into 5 and 2 into 7, 5 will cancel 65 13 times. This values are perfectly right. And 2 into 15 and 2 into 26, this is also right. And so yeah, I think the values are right. So 0.1274 approximately should be the answer. And yeah, I think 0.096 would be very close. Now if you multiply using a calculator, maybe you will get this. So we have changed 350 1 to 350, which is why we are getting a small change here. But the closest answer would be 0.096 if you multiply, because 0.09 if you approximate, it will become 0.1, and we are getting 0.1274. The small difference is there because we have taken 351 as 350. Okay, because the answer options differ by less than 0.12 in decimal places. Very, very close answer options. But this is how we should do. We are going to multiply. If all the targets are all the persons are going to hit the target, then we take the respective probabilities and multiply. Probability of A, P, which is 0.65, into B, which is 0.54, into R, which is we had left out actually R, which is why this difference is okay. So let's see. So 0.125, I'm getting here 1274. Okay, or we can just make some correction here. Let me just remove this. So we have got 1274. We have got 1274 by 100 into 100. And you just to multiply this with 0.75. We had left out 0.75. So 0.75 is 3 by 4. So let's say 2 into 2 and 2 into 6 and 2 into 3, 637, and multiply 3 into 637, 3 into 637. So 21, 9 and 2, 1. 1911 by 2, and let's see how much we get here. 2 9s are 18. We get 11. 2 into 5, 10, and again so 955, and by if you divide this by 955 by 10,000, that's the answer is 0.0955, which is the answer 0.096. So anyhow, the correct answer is 0.096. Okay. So this is the first question. Let's look at the second question here and see what is there in the second question. What is the probability that P will hit the target? P will hit the target, but Q will hit target B. P will hit target B. This is the value 0.40. But Q will miss that target. That target means, again we're talking about target B. So Q will miss the target. Right now Q hitting the target is 0.06. So for Q missing target B, it's 1 minus 0.60, that's 0.40. Okay, and for P hitting, it's also 0.40. What is the probability that P will hit the target B but Q will miss the target? P hits B and Q misses B. That is equal to 0.40 into 0.40, and that's equal to 0.16. So the correct answer would be C, that is answer option C. So we are going to multiply, because what is happening, two events are happening. One is that P will hit target B and Q must miss target B. So from the data given to us, first we find out what is the probability of Q missing the target, and that we know is 0.40, and then we multiply that with the probability of B hitting the target, which is also 0.40. Okay, all right, so this part is done. Let's move to question number 3. What is the probability that R will miss all targets? What is the probability that R will miss all targets? So we're talking about R here, and these are the required probabilities given to us. So for each of these probability, we have to find out the probabilities of missing the target. Probabilities of missing the target, and that we can do by subtracting from 1. So for target A it is 0.25, for target B it is 0.50, for target C it is 0.62, and for target D it is 0.55. These are the required probabilities for our missing the targets A, B, C, D respectively. Now if the R is going to miss all the targets, then we're just going to multiply this value. So 0.25, that's 1 by 4, 0.50, which is 1 by 2, into 62 by 100, into 55 by 100. So just simplify this and see how we can solve this and get the answer. So 2 will cancel this 31 times. So let's just multiply 31 into 55 first of all. So 31 into 5 into 11 would be a better way of doing it. So 155 into 11, using the shortcut technique for 11, this is 5, 5 plus 5, 10, 1 in hand, 6 plus 1, 7, 1705. So 1705 we have in the numerator, and below we have 4 into 100 into 100. So it will make sense to divide 1705 by 4 first. So 1705 by 4, 4 into 4 is 16, and we get 1 0 here. 4 into 2 is 8, and we get 2 5. 4 into 6 is 24, we get 1, so put 0.25. So 426.25, 426.25, okay, and divided by 100 into 100, that's equal to 0.0426. That should be your answer. Okay, so 0.25 into 1 by 4 into 1 by 2 into 62 by 100 into 55 by 100. So 31 into 55, 5, 155 into 11, 5, 10 carry, and then 6 and plus 7, 1705 divided by 4 perfectly. So answer should be none of these here. That's question number 3. We first find out all the probabilities of missing the target for this person R, and then we are going to multiply all those probabilities so that R will miss target A, B, C as well as target B. The chance of that happening is 0.042, approximately 0.04. Okay, now let's look at question number 4 and see again in the same set what is the answer for this question. If S attempts hitting target C, so S attempts hitting target C, no, for SC is here 0.60, 4 times. How many times? 4 times he is attempting. What is the probability that he will hit it exactly 2 times? 2 times he must hit the target. So if he's going to hit the target 2 times, that means he's going to miss the target 2 times. Okay, hit, miss, in any order. So let's see how to solve this kind of question. Now 0.60 in fraction is equal to 3 by 5. So 2 times is going to hit the target, 2 times is going to miss the target. Now, but this is not the answer. We have to multiply here 4 factorial divided by 2 factorial into 2 factorial. Now why are we doing this? So think about it. Hit, miss. How many ways you can arrange these 4? In permutation, we know if number of letters are given to you n and then there are some repetitions, we divide by the factorials based on number of times a letter is repeating. So we have 4 letters here, so we get 4 factorial in the numerator divided by 2 factorial because 2 times h is repeating, and 2 factorial because 2 times m is repeating. So this is your answer here. Let's see what is the value we are going to get in this particular question. 2 factorial will get cancelled with this 2 and 2. So we get 9 into, and 4 factorial is 24 divided by 5 power 4. And 9 into 24 is 216 by 5 power 4 is 625. So the answer will be B, that is 216 by 625. So again, you see, this entire question is based on probability, and this one was based on probability as well as permutation and combination. When you get a separate question on probability, that itself would be a complex question. Here we have the entire DI set based on probability, a very different way of creating a data interpretation set for you in the examination. Okay, well, that's question number 4. And now let's look at question number 5. What is the probability that T will hit at least one target? So how will you solve this question? What is the probability that T will hit at least one target? Okay, so here we have 4 targets and T will hit at least one target. So we'll find out, first of all, the probability that T will not hit any target. What is the probability of T missing all targets? The way to go about that is to first subtract from 1. So we get 0.30 here, we get 0.55, 0.65 and 0.58. So we get these values. Let's first multiply these values. So 0.30, 3 by 10 into 55 by 100 into 65 by 100 into 58 by 100. So see what all we can cancel off here. So 5 into 2, 5 into 11. So this is one very simple thing. And 2 will cancel 58 how many times? So 29 times. Now if you want to multiply, we could simply multiply these values, but multiplying 65 into 29 is the first thing to do. 65 into 29. So 9 5 45, 6 2 18, and if you cross multiply 54 plus 10, that is 64. Adding, we get 5, 4 plus 4 8, and 18 plus 6 24, 2485. Now 2485 into 3, let's do it into 3 first. 3 into 2485, because multiplying with 11 is very easy. So 15, 24 plus 1 25, 2, and 72 plus 1 77, 355. Now we should multiply 11 into 7355, and that should also be very easy. 5 will come here. 5 plus 5 10, so there's a carry 1. 3 plus 5 8, plus this carry 1 is 9. 7 plus 3 10 0, there's a carry 1, and 7 plus 1 becomes 8. So 80905. Okay, so 80905 is the total multiplication of the numerator. 3 into 11 into 65 into 29, and below we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 zeros. So 1 2 3 4 5, and put a 0 and put point here. So we get here 0.080. So let's keep it at 0.0809. Okay, 05. 0.0809 is the probability of missing the target. So let's subtract this from 1. So let's keep 4 zeros and subtract 0.0809. So we get here 1, and this will become 9, and this will become 1, this will become 9. 0.9191, and that is equal to 91%. Okay, so this is what is your answer, 91%. So you have to be very good with the calculation skills also. If you don't know how to multiply faster, this is what I've done here. And if you don't know how to multiply with 11 quickly, which I've done here, then you're going to take a lot of time. But I was able to do it faster, even though I'm multiplying 4 large numbers, because I'm using the shortcut technique of multiplying 2-digit numbers as well as shortcut technique of multiplying with 11. That's how I was able to reduce the time and solve and get the answer quickly. The correct answer for this question is 91%. That means 91% chance is that T will hit at least one target, and around 9% chance is that T will miss all the targets. So that's how you solve such questions. A very different, unique question on data interpretation. If you go through all the previous question papers, you will not come across this. So this is something that can come, a new way of looking at a data interpretation question in the examination. Now what we'll do is look at DI set 2. This is a simple format. You have seen this question a number of times. So let's see what this question is all about and how do we go about solving this question. And this is a typical question which has come before and can come again. So if you have 2 sets or 3 sets of data interpretation in your examination, students, you can definitely see one set of double pie chart in the exam. So here we have a question. The first pie chart shows the percentage distribution of restaurants in 6 cities in 2015, and the second pie chart shows the percentage distribution of public parks in 6 states in 2015. So 2 pie charts are there. First gives you number of restaurants, and the second one gives you number of public parks, and both have separate values here, 5500 and this is 1800, and we have the year 2015. The first one is for 6 cities, P, Q, R, S, T and U, and second one is for 6 states, A, B, C, D, E and F. And then you have to combine the information and solve the questions that come along with this. Okay, so let's look at the first question here. The average number of restaurants in city Q, R and T is what percent of the average number of public parks in state B, D and F? Okay. So if you see, let me just change the color thing here. So, alright. City Q and R, average number of restaurants. So we are going to just work with the percentages here. We're not going to calculate any value. Number of restaurants in city Q, R and T. So Q is 12%, write down 12, and R is 18%, so let's write down 18, and T is 15%, so let's write down here 15. 12 plus 18 plus 15. Average I will not find, because when you're finding the ratio of average and the number of things are same, then it's anyhow going to get cancelled. Okay, so divided by number of public parks in B, D and F. So B is 12%, D is 10% and F is 18%. But what you have to keep in mind here is that the total number of restaurants and parks is not same. So multiply the first one with 5500 and second one with 1800. So let's do this. 12 plus 18, 30 plus 15, zeros will get cancelled here. 12 plus 18, 30, 30 plus 15, 45. So what we're getting here is, I can write it here, 45 into 55 divided by 12 plus 18, 30 plus 10, 40 into 18, and we are finding percentage, so we'll multiply with 100 here. Okay, so this is how you solve. No, don't need to find out all the values and then start solving the question. Okay, just start straight away and work with percentages and solve. Don't need to find average here. If you start finding average and then make a list of all number of restaurants in each of the 6 cities, number of parks in each of the 6 cities, and then solve the question, is going to take a lot of time. This way is the best approach. So again, 9 2s are 18, 9 5s are 45, and 5 will cancel 48 times, and 4 into 2, 4 into 25. And so we finally get 25 into 55, that's 11 into 125 by 4. And again, using the technique for 11, 5, 2 plus 5, 7, 1 plus 2, 3, 1375 by 4, and divide this, you'll get 4 into 3, 12, 17, 4 into 4, 16, 15, 4, 3, 12, 343.75%. So the answer is 343.75%. So that's the answer for this question. The average number of restaurants in Q, R and T is what percent of the average number of public parks in B, D and F? And we were able to do this in very less time with a minimum amount of calculation, because we are using the right approach. We're not going to find out all the number of parks and all the number of all the number of restaurants in each of the 6 cities and number of public parks in 6 states, and then using that actual data. If you solve, it will be very time taking. Let's look at this question. What is the ratio of the number of restaurants in P, Q and S? Again, restaurants in P, 10 plus 12 plus 20, so that's 22 plus 20, 42. And number of public parks in C, D and E. So C, 15 plus 10, 25 plus E, 15 is 40 into 5500. Why? Because this total is 5500 into 1800, but this total is 1800. So cancel the zeros and then just simplify. 2 9s are 2 11s are, and we can cancel with here with 2 again. So 2 into 20 and 2 into 21. 3 into 7 and 3 into 3, and finally it's a 77 is to 60. That's your answer. 77 is to 60 is the ratio of number of restaurants in P, Q and S and number of public parks in C, D and E. Again, we are just working with the percentages. We're not calculating the actual values to get the answers. This is what you have to observe and understand. Just working with the percentages, how can we solve and get the answers? Okay, now let's look at question number 3. The average number of restaurants in Q and S. Again, restaurants in Q 12 and S 20%, that is 20 plus 12, 32%. Okay, is greater than the average number of public parks in D and E by what percent? So D is 10 and 15, that is 25%. Now since we have to find out greater than, so we have to work with the actual data. It's better to find out this, so average number of public parks. First let's find out the total number of public parks here. So D and E, in D we have 10%, E we have 15%, so 25% of 1800. Cancel the zeros, and 25 and 18 if you multiply, that's equal to 450. Okay, so 450, and here we have Q and S, city Q and city S. So 12 plus 20, 32% of 5500. Again 0 0 cancelled, and same thing, 5 into 32 is 160 into 11, that's 1760, and divide by 2, so we get here 880, and divide by 2 here, so we get here 225. So our basic calculation is to find out what is 880 minus 225 by 225 into 100. Okay, so again 80 and 25, that is 55, and 655 by 225 into 100. 25 into 9, 25 into 4, 4 into 5, 20, 2 in hand, 20 plus 2, 22, again 2 in hand, 22, 620 by 9, that's equal to 9 to the 18, and 8 to 9 9s are 81, and 291.1, so something 291% approximately we're getting as the average number of restaurants in Q and S is greater than average number of public parks in D and E by what percent? That is your question number 3. Here we have to calculate the average and then solve the question, because here we're talking about greater than, so I can't just use a ratio and solve. So wherever we have to just find the ratio or just find the percentage by using the comparison, then it's okay. But if one value is greater than the other value by what percent, then you have to find the actual data and then take the difference and then solve the questions. So that's question number 3 for you. Very easy, very helpful for you to solve. Let's look at question number 4. If the number of restaurants in each of the 6 cities in 2016, now remember that this data given to you right now here in the question is for which year? It is for the year 2015. And in the question, what are we asking? If the number of restaurants in each of the 6 cities in 2016 is 20% more than the number of restaurants in 2015. So if the number of restaurants in each of the 6 cities increases by 20%. So what is 20%? First understand that 20% is 1 by 5. So the number of restaurants is going to increase by 1 by 5, 20%. And what is the overall average number of restaurants in P and T? City P and T. So I'm just going to work with P and T. I'm not going to work with all the numbers here. So P is 10%. 1 by 5 of 10 is 2. So 10 plus 2, 12%. Take it as 12%. And Now t, we're talking about t. So 15 by 5, by 5 because it is 1 by 5 is 3. So 15 plus 3, 18%. So 12 plus 18, that is 30 by 2, which is equal to 15%. But since you're working with number, 15% of 5500, cancel the zeros and just multiply. 15 5s are 75, 7 in hand, and 15 5 is 75 plus 7, 825. The correct answer is 825. That is your answer to question number 4. What you should observe here is the way we have solved it. In the simplicity of solving it, we're not calculating the number of restaurants, we're not finding out what is the new value of the number of restaurants, we're just working with percentages. And working with percentages alone, I'm getting all the answers without any difficulty. If you have this approach in the examination, you will be actually be able to solve questions within the required time. If today you're talking about a banking examination, IBPS prelims examination, we have 100 questions in the paper with just 60 minutes, and you have to get up to 65 plus marks to clear the first round. And to get 65 plus marks, you do 75 questions, and if you don't do that, then clearing the first round becomes very difficult. And you need to have the best calculation technique, all the multiplication techniques. See, in so many questions I have applied shortcut techniques of multiplication. Those questions will not come separately, will not get calculation, although there are calculation questions also in the exam. Around 5 questions can come from calculation directly, but in other questions also you have to understand how calculation techniques are helping you crack the toughest questions in the best possible time. So this is question number 4. Now let's look at question number 5. If the city collects an annual tax of rupees 120 from each of the restaurants in the 6 cities, what is the ratio of average tax collected from Q and R? So Q is 12 and R is 18 to the average tax collected from S and T. So S is 20 and T is 15. Now the city is collecting average annual tax of rupees 120 from each of the restaurants. So are we going to find out the number of restaurants and then multiply it with 120 to find out how much tax we are collecting from Q and R? No. Since we are finding out here ratio, and see, wherever we have ratio or percentage, I can work directly with the percentages only. And since the tax collected from each restaurant is same, again this value also has no meaning. What I just have to do is Q and R, 12 plus 18 is 30, and S and T, 20 plus 15 is 35. Just find this ratio, that's 6:7. So what is the answer of this question? 6:7. And if you understand it properly, although it looks like a very lengthy question and lots of additional information like tax and all those things are there, so usually when a student reads a question like this, he gets scared that, oh, this question is very difficult, I should leave it, do something else. But yeah, if you understand, this question is a 5-second question. You just have to add 12 plus 18, 30, and 20 plus 15, 35, and find out the ratio of 30 to 35, that is 6:7. So these are the 2 sets, students, I told you I'll be discussing. One was this question based on probability. That's a very different and unique question which has not come in exams before and can come as a new experimental question. And the other question is something that has come before, but on an advanced level, different data sets, and how to approach the questions without actually finding out the actual value of the number of things. So both questions I've discussed. I hope this will help you in tackling the DI questions in your upcoming examination. DI requires a lot of practice, and you need to be good with your calculation skills that you have to understand. All right, students. So I'll keep the class here today. I'll meet you in the next session that I'm doing at 11:30 for current affairs. We'll do a quick recap of some of the important questions for current affairs at 11:30. So if you're watching the video, please come back at 11:30 and watch the current affairs class. And keep watching our videos on HashLearn app. If you're not already subscribed, subscribe to our channel. Also, you can download the HashLearn app and watch videos directly in your mobile phone itself. If you enjoy our classes, please like and share our videos with your friends to help them also prepare for your examination. So thank you. I'll join you again at 11:30 with the next session.